Welcome everyone, this is my second channel here. It's going to be a little bit different if you came over from the main channel. This one's all going to be focused on, like it says in the description of the channel, if you haven't made it over there, I'll just make it very simple for you guys. It's going to be about nutrition, exercise, supplementation, the different ways the different minerals and vitamins affect your body, the different exercise routines you can be doing, because in the upcoming months, I fear, based on all of the stuff that I do over on my main channel, it's going to become increasingly important that you guys know how to best prepare yourself for the situations going forward. And again, that has also been the driving force in my life so far, okay? It was all about putting together all of those things that you can do to make yourself a more complete individual. And as you can see, I got a little picture right here. What would that be? Oh, right there. That is me. If you're wondering who that is, looks a little bit different. That was also 15 years ago. Can you believe it? I'm 31 years old right now. As you can see, that guy in that picture, he's either 15 or 16 years old. He's just about 400 pounds. He's still as tall as I am, obviously, 6'6". You can hide it well, right? When you're a tall guy, you can get away with busting scales. Nobody really says anything about it, but eventually you hit that wall, and I can still remember this vividly because it was the moment that absolutely changed my life. Hopping into a changing room, trying to get new clothes for, it was either going into the 10th grade or going into the 11th grade, trying on a XXX t-shirt and having my big old titties pop out. It was the most despicable feeling moment I ever had in my entire life, and I didn't ever want to revert to it. And if there's anybody else who feels like that, there has to be a better way than that, okay? I knew nothing about the gym. I knew nothing about exercise. I knew nothing about eating right. That guy right there was fueled on Slurpees and chocolate, chips, and the like, okay? There was nothing that was coming out of a bag or a box that I didn't have an opinion on. And this is something that I like to share to everybody who I've interacted with, because I'm a CSEP certified personal trainer, okay? I have my degree in exercise physiology. I went to school to understand all of this type of stuff because eventually it came back to me that that guy that you see there, the first picture that I show to anybody else who's like, oh, you don't know what it's like to struggle. Well, in fact, I do. And you know what? I took it so seriously that I don't want anybody to have to go through what I had to go through ever again by themselves. And that's what this channel is going to be dedicated to. If you're used to my presentation over on the DKS main channel, is going to be a bit of a departure, okay? We aren't going to get as hyperbolic, okay? I can't promise that I'm never going to swear, but it's going to be a lot more at this tempo because this is the way that I like to handle my personal training clients, okay? Will that change along the way? Of course it will, okay? Because if you are training somebody, because I've trained people who are just wanting to tighten up their glutes a little bit, okay? There's a little girl who comes in, well, not really a little girl, it's not Uncle Joe after all, and we're not going to get political here either, but it's a good joke. No, there's this, 20-something-year-old, oh, I just want to tighten up my glutes. It's like, okay, we'll just put down the fork, put something better on the fork, and let's go for a walk, and cardio is going to help you out a lot more than just doing those stupid squats or humping the barbell. If you ever see that at the gym, it's the most worthless exercise. That's something else we can talk about at a later date. I've worked with those type of just weekend warriors who want to come in, have never been in the gym before, show them around, teach them how to use the elliptical trainer, teach them how to use the treadmill, teach them how to use the machines that are out there. Your basic entry-level beginner exercise program is basically going to look the same. The numbers on the weights of your resistance, it might change, it might fluctuate from person to person, but when it all comes down to it, if somebody has 30 minutes to an hour, 2, 3, 4 times a week that they want to dedicate to you, your basic entry-level program is going to look exactly the same for the most part. Where it changes after that, that's the differentiation between most personal trainers and somebody who's gone to school to figure this stuff out, because there's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of organizations that will give you, I've got the accreditation to be a personal trainer. I went to a 2-weekend course and I know everything about all of this kind of stuff. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have the expertise. You don't have the time in the gym that I do. You don't have the success of getting somebody off of their diabetic medication. You don't have the success of training somebody from the ground up to run a marathon. You don't have the success of training somebody who is a star on the basketball team. You don't have that. I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I'm just going to tell you that we're going to go through a bunch of important information, topic by topic, idea by idea, the same way that I would deliver political content, the same way that I would deliver news stories over on the main channel. We're going to do that for fitness and nutrition because it's going to become extra important, guys, here in the next couple of months. I see it coming over the horizon. And again, this is just one of those fundamental beliefs for myself. The more you can improve for yourself, the more you start to understand that all of that other crap that's out there on the tertiary, it really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you can control, and what you can control is amazing. You have so many resources available to you, and you have so much control. And if you have the motivation, and if you have the desire to do it, you can accomplish more than you even know right now. And this is why this first video here, it's just going to be a little bit of an introduction. Here's me, here's my background, here's what I've had to struggle with for going on, well, the better part of half my life. I can't believe that. And we've got here a nice little basic introduction, okay? So you're thinking, okay, you got a couple of extra pounds to lose, okay? You don't quite understand what the difference between a keto and a paleo diet is, okay? A lot of people don't. A lot of people do keto wrong. A lot of people do veganism wrong. I mean, even though veganism is its entire beast. I mean, we'll talk about that at a different date. I also, obviously, you've seen my former state, and you can compare and contrast it to a guy who wears a medium t-shirt, okay? And it's not a schmedium, as you can see. It fits well. I also know, I've also studied when it comes to nutrition, so I'm not going to prescribe anybody anything over a YouTube show. That is absolutely silly. And if anybody's telling you that they know your personal standing, they know what you are doing on a daily basis, and they can prescribe something to you in a 7, 8, 9-minute video, you gotta understand that's just not the case. Nobody's gonna know your background. Nobody's going to know what you need in your diet. Talk to your doctor, talk to a registered dietitian, understand that those are the experts. All I can do is break this stuff down for you, show you the studies, show you the different trials that these things have gone through, because there is a ton of information that is out there when it comes to fitness and nutrition. It's all about parsing out that information, because it's just as propagandistic, because they're, at the end of the day, they just want to sell their pre-workout, okay? They want to sell their protein, they want to sell their protein powder. They just want to sell you the next greatest thing that's going to make you just drop weight. All you need to do is just take our pills. It's never that easy. It's never that easy. But you know what is easy? Actually getting off your butt and doing something. It doesn't have to be a lot, okay? I could run through my training regimen, but it's not about me. It's about you guys. It's about getting one foot in front of the other and making those connections, making it easier so that you want to go out there and you want to be the best person you can be. Moving the body to ease the mind. Drugs treat the brain, but the body offers its own biochemical treatment. Very much so. And this is not to take a swipe at anybody who has a legitimate mental illness, okay? Those things happen. Bipolar disease is a thing. Schizophrenia is a disease. Depression is a thing. But there's also mitigating factors that you can take in your life every single day. Go out there and exercise. It is the best thing you can do without the intervention of any sort of pharmaceuticals in order to get your life going in the right direction. I can't stress that enough. Just go outside 20 minutes a day, okay? That's the easiest way to start. Just go for a walk, okay? You'd be amazed how much better you feel, okay? Because here, just another quick aside, and I know that this is quite tangential, but this is just how we're going to be doing it over here, and that's totally fine. I wake up, sometimes it's a tough day waking up in the morning. Sometimes I don't sleep right. Sometimes, you know, you got those memory foam mattresses and you just end up kind of sleeping in the middle of it and it just feels like it's folding in all the time. That's okay. Your back hurts a little bit. Guess what? You go outside, you just start putting one foot in front of the other. After a while, you're staring up at the blue sky. You're seeing the trees. Hey, it might be snowing outside. It might be raining outside, but that's a different opportunity to show yourself how much you can accomplish. Just go do it. Just put it up on the wall. You won't regret it. We exercise for a variety of reasons. Some want a healthier heart. Others want to work out a way to build strength, endurance, and coordination. Still, others are motivated by image and desire to sculpt a fitter looking figure. Of course, everybody has their different goals, okay? I remember, even just growing up, I didn't care, okay? I idolized the guys. You can kind of see it. It's right there. It's that still from Pumping Iron. I idolized Arnold Schwarzenegger. Still do to this day. His current political takes and everything after after he was elected governor of California. Better left unsaid, but that dude right there is still an inspiration. I wanted to get to that size, but then again, that's an expensive man's game, and that's not something that doesn't come without its own setbacks, okay? So eventually I figured out that, hey, you know what? I didn't want to be the size of a door frame. I didn't want to have to walk through in order to accommodate my lats, okay? That might have been a goal at one point, but now it's all about functional fitness, and I think that that is what most people, okay? If we're talking about the generalities of people, that is what you should be looking for. And I think, generally speaking, functional fitness, functional strength is a hell of a lot better than just trying to do curls for girls. They just want to get that, the big chest, the big back, the big traps to look so cool, but then realize that you're walking around like a potato on little toothpicks. It's all about everything. All about having those muscles that are out there, making sure that they're stretching, because stretching is infinitely more important than people like to give it credit for. Never forget to stretch. Again, topics for other days, but this is just going to be a nice little general overview of things to come, as all these pursuits have a physical goal, but some people exercise is more of a mental thing. For this group, a primary drive for regular movement is mood enhancement. Again, you will never feel better than after a run, than after a walk, okay? You can get through, if you have a trouble that is bothering you, go outside, put on your shoes, go for a walk. You can work through it, and it's never, ever, with the exception of maybe getting hit by a car or something, but let's not worry about that type of stuff, okay? You will never feel any worse than when you left. I could just about guarantee that. It's a motivating factor for psychologist Cynthia Howell. She first noticed the unexpected mental benefits of exercise out of frustration. It was during a difficult time in her life when a certain concern weighed heavily on her mind. To make matters worse, I had plenty of free time to worry about it and panic, Howell said. Out of rage, I stormed out and went for a walk one day. I felt so calm and refreshed afterwards. Exactly, okay? Because when I'm doing research or I'm trying to think up topics to speak about on any of the channels, any of the places that I go, and wherever I do my writing or I do my recording, I put a topic in my head, and then I go out for a run, and then by the time I get back, I have it all thought out. Some days, if I have a complex idea in my head, I just try to chip away at it. It is something that runners have described as a relaxing effort, as a meditative endeavor, sort of a calming influence on something that is seemingly very stressful, but has more curative benefits than what you initially thought of. It worked like a charm for me. I had enough time to think about it clearly, and my life from a new perspective. I became more grateful and less bitter, she said. That's terrific. That's awesome. Eric Chow, chief consultant at public relations firms, said she used exercise throughout her life as a tool to combat stress. Martial arts in particular helped my mental health significantly, Chow said. At a time in my life where my peers were stressing out for one reason or another, I always felt going to the dojo was an answer to stress. Exactly. Because you can take your mind off of something, and then with a fresh set of eyes, if you do in fact have something stressful on your plate, you can come back to it with a different perspective. Taking some time away from that stuff is important. It's also important to dig down deep on those problems and don't let them fester. One thing you can do is try to tackle the issue that you have on your plate. Worrying about something, that's not going to help. That's not going to do anything productive. But if you take your mind off of it for a second, if you go do something relaxing, going for a walk. You used to be able to go to the gym without any sort of concerns in your mind. Now it's a little bit touchy, so if you still end up going to the gym, that's fine. You can take your mind off of it. You just focus on doing a lat pull down. Start activating different passages or pathways in your brain. Take your mind off of it for a second. And then you come back to your current situation. You come back to your problem at hand with a fresh set of eyes. Nothing bad from that can happen. Soon after Chow stopped training, however, his mood took a nosedive. Several factors contributed to his emotional downturn, but Chow said lacking a physical outlet to express his psychological turmoil made it much harder to bear. To this day, it remains my lowest mental health has ever been, he said. Last time I took an extended break from the gym, from doing exercise, it was about 3 days, right around Christmas time, okay? You can kind of excuse, it wasn't this Christmas, I even have a tough time pinpointing it, but I think it was like 2014 or something. That was about the last time I took an extended break from it, and not to brag or anything, and just, this is what I ended up going through, something exactly like Buddy is talking about here. So, okay, you have Christmas off. Okay, you're with your family. That's fine. But then Boxing Day up here in Canada, it goes through a little bit of a different pace. And it's like you start to get a little bit itchy. And it's like, okay, I have some stuff downstairs and I would like to do something. But ooh, look at all those sales that were out there. That would be fun. Let's go ahead and do that. But then by that third day, I was just jonesing for it. It's like kind of feeling dirty, but you're not dirty. There's some other analogies. If we were on a different channel, I'd be making it a little joke, but whatever. It kind of feels like just something isn't right. You just feel off. You have excess energy, but you just don't expend it properly. I just ended up picking up some resistance bands, and I just ended up going ham, and I just needed to do something because those pathways were already unlocked. You already had a routine that you were following, and in general, routines are going to help you. Don't set them up as if you are a prisoner, okay? That lunch is at 12, reports are due at 2, you get home by 4, you start making dinner, and then you have to take the kids to soccer. You have to pick up the kids from... See what you have to do there? You want to set up your day. You want to set up your day to accomplish things you want to accomplish. Things that would be beneficial to your life that you want to accomplish. They might suck in the long term, but if they're going to pay... Or they might suck in the interim. If they're going to pay off in the long term, that's the type of schedule you want to have. Look up and down. Look far and wide. You will never find a successful individual that doesn't find some sort... Or rather, doesn't follow some sort of a schedule. Well, let's just go back to this for a little bit more. The most recent example came last year. Like many, Chow was cooped up and became more sedentary. Depression crept back into his life. Then he began working with a personal trainer a few months ago, and a dark mood lifted. I've found it to be such an important anchor to my day, he said. Unless you personally experience the mood-enhancing benefits of physical exercise, you may be tempted to dismiss such an effort, or rather effect genuinely exists. But a new report compiles more than 1,100 studies revealing the regular physical exercise has a profound impact on the mind. The science shows that mental challenges such as anxiety and depression can be effectively minimized by working the body. Something we've known for a very long time, but it's lovely to have it down in writing. The report comes from the John W. Brick Foundation, an organization that promotes evidence-based lifestyle approaches towards better mental health. When you're in the business of fitness and nutrition, that comes across as being incredibly deceptive and nebulous, but this is actually a pretty good society. This is just being editorialized to death. So when you see these vacuous slogans like, we want you to live your best life, it's like, whatever. Researcher, clinical psychologist, and executive director of the Brick Foundation, Dr. Cassandra Veaton, hopes the report gives people a good sense they have a safe, effective, and virtually free option at their disposal to address common mental health concerns. We have patients to know it's not just psychotherapy, medication, and hospitalization, although we do support those things when needed. Exactly. There are dozens of things you can do to boost your mental well-being, Veaton said. Exercise is one of them, and there's strong evidence to support it. Yes, there is. Let's just take a look at why it works, and then we'll do a little wrap-up here. So just how does moving your body influence your mental state? Scientists have found several chemicals in the brain and body that activate when we exercise. One is called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. It's the muscle memory, okay? Just more colloquially referred to as that BDNF. That's usually more reserved for the labs. As people exercise, it increases. As it increases, it enhances neurogenesis and neuroconnection, Veaton explained. As you can see, yeah, that's the muscle memory sort of thing. Creating patterns, creating a routine in your brain. BDNF is also a predictor of anxiety and depression. The lower BDNF is associated with mental illness. Higher BDNF is associated with exercise. So we have at least a strong hypothesis that this is one pathway through which it is working. Again, there's a lot. This is another misconception. Okay, studies show 9 out of 10 doctors would say a lot of stuff in the fitness industry is predicated on faulty science. Okay, so if somebody doesn't provide you the receipts, but then they say, oh, no, don't worry, it's been studied in the lab or something. It's like that could be just one ingredient on an entire list that has like 50 different components. So that's what I want to do with this channel, start breaking down some stuff so that you guys have the best information out there. Including BDNF, scientists have found at least 8 other potential pathways when exercises increases a certain hormone or decreases a particular enzyme in a way that benefits brain function. In addition to these biological pathways, there may also be psychological pathways behind exercise Oh, physical exercise, sorry. Ability to ease the mind. Viet mentions one hypothesis that posits that positive stress builds something called psychological resilience. Aha! It's the feeling of self-empowerment when you realize that you're stronger than you initially thought. It occurs in exercise that pushes you just beyond your comfort zone. Exactly. Once you just start doing stuff, you would be amazed how much you can actually do, okay? Because there are some, it doesn't matter, okay? You could be intimidated by the gym, okay? Depends on which one you go to. It could be full of muscle heads just banging irons, slapping chests, grunting and groaning, and you just don't want to be there. You see those big old dumbbells and you think doing a curl is going to be impossible. Especially most gyms out there, it kind of is like the small dumbbells, and then it gets up to the 20, and then that's the first time that you get the big old plates on the end of them. Those can look intimidating, but you would be surprised how much you can actually lift if you just start lifting properly, or how far you can actually run when you start to get out of your own mind. You get out of your own way. You're a lot stronger than you think you are. Think of a yoga class. When you hit that point where you can't, or when you say you can't do this, but you do it anyway. You got 5 minutes left on the treadmill and you push through. These moments that we call positive stress actually build your psychological resilience. So when you're in a difficult situation in life, you think, oh, I can make it through this. I can wait 5 more minutes. I can hold this pose without having to collapse or react. Exactly. And that's what all of this stuff is about, because as soon as you start figuring out that your body is stronger than it actually is, then you start to take a look at other situations that are out there and you realize that you can probably weather that storm because, hey, it was really crappy outside, okay? It was super hot outside, but I still went outside and I still walked for 20 minutes. I still went outside and I still grabbed a couple of miles out there, okay? It was cold as all hell. With Satan flapping his big old wings, just making it an icy disaster. Because the lowest circle of hell is actually incredibly cold. Bibble. And I still went out there, put up my little dog's booties, and we went for a walk. Obviously, I'm not talking about the extremes, but on the grand scheme of things, there's nothing you can't overcome if you just put one foot in front of the other and take it one step at a time. So like I said, I'm not too sure the next time I'm going to be uploading over here, but it's going to be at a regular, semi-regular, consistent pace. This isn't going to be one video and then a month later saying, oh guys, I can't believe I forgot about this. I'm sorry, we're just going to be doing another update. No, I want to start doing a bunch of other different stuff that doesn't really fit on the main channel, but stuff I'm still incredibly passionate about. Might be a different sort of production value, but we're always going to have that type of setup when we're going through articles, when we're going to be breaking down different ingredients and say like popular pre-workouts, okay? What are the actual benefits of vitamin D3? That one's just sitting in the back of my head. That'll probably be the next video as well. But I'd also like to go through home exercise programs, basic exercise, basic tips that you can do at the gym or just whenever you're exercising to avoid injuries. Because thankfully, touch wood, I haven't had any sort of injuries that have prevented me from exercising every single day. And I do something every single day because I think that that is #1 priority. Because if you don't look after yourself, you can't look after anyone else. Focus on you first, not in a narcissistic way, not in a selfish way. Because if you aren't what you can be, if you can't be working towards what you can be, how are you going to tell anybody else how to live their life? Yeah, where we go from here, not entirely sure. I have a bunch of ideas, but if you guys want something broken down, feel free to drop it in the comments section. If you guys want a specific exercise, you guys want something specifically talked about, feel free to hit me up, find me wherever you want. I just haven't got any of those social media set up for this channel or for this profile over here, mostly because if you've been over on the main channel, you know my opinion on social media, and I find it just a little bit garbagey, but this is where the videos are going to go. What we cover over here, don't know, but it's always going to be about making you a better person. I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've once again been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. See y'all later.